I've been wanting to make this video for almost 4 days because I was hoping that someone would just come out, post the full survey, and then we could go over it together, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen, and I really want to talk about this. So we're going to be using this Reddit post that's effectively a synopsis of what is in the survey that's been going around, and there's also a questionnaire from the official Japanese Pokemon website. So we got some interesting data collection going on when it comes to Pokemon Sword and Shield right now, and I think it's going to be a fun video. So if you end up enjoying the video, don't forget to leave a like, comment down below, and share it with your friends. Sharing the video probably helps more than anything right now with how crazy the YouTube algorithm is, so it's very much appreciated. And with that out of the way, let's get into it. So you might have heard the news that Nintendo is doing a Pokemon survey, specifically Nintendo of Europe, and you might have even gotten the survey yourself if you're in that region, so that is what we're going to be breaking down. Now, going over the survey, going over the questionnaire, going over like a couple of other things I've been trying to pay attention to with this, I don't think it's related to the Bring Back the National Dex. If I recall correctly, I believe there was a Nintendo of Europe only survey when it came to Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee that happened last year, so I think this just happened. You know, every once in a while, there's going to be just asking about the Pokemon games, figuring out things about the new games, and the questions don't really seem to relate too much to the National Dex outrage, so I don't think it's about that. I think it's making sure that people understand Pokemon Sword and Shield, that way they know what to do with future news updates, just so that misinformation doesn't wildly spread about the games. So, first part was usual gamer profiling, age, gaming platforms, etc. However, they did say they're mostly interested in the opinions of kids aged 7 to 15. Now, I don't think this means that they're trying to disregard the older Pokemon audience. I think it is about trying to grow the Pokemon audience with the younger generation. This is going to be a lot of people's first Pokemon games. I think this is mostly just about the strange time that we're in when it comes to gaming, because it used to be that you started on console and then you would grow out and expand into PC and other platform devices. Now it's the other way around. You know, everyone starts off on PC when it comes to Fortnite, or smartphones when it comes to like all of these other apps and games and stuff, and now they're starting to funnel back into consoles from there. So Pokemon Sword and Shield is going to be the first console Pokemon experience for a lot of kids that are in this age 7 to 15 range that have been playing games for a pretty like for years now. So I think that's going to be a big thing, making sure that this age group understands Pokemon and Pokemon Sword and Shield, and then how that's going to work when it comes to like all the features and maybe even Pokemon games after this one. Then they moved on to Pokemon General, how much you know about Pokemon, which Pokemon games you've played, made a few interesting questions about what I liked most about the games. Among the options, new region, new adventure, new Pokemon, turn-based battles, being able to build a team with my favorite Pokemon, gym battles, or building the strongest team. This is actually going to be a really, like, I want to know the results. I want to know what people, like, say in response to that. And that's why I wish I had the full questionnaire, because then I'd be able to answer it myself. I like the new adventure. I like the new Pokemon. I think that's kind of like the biggest thing about a new region. It's the new generation. You want to see the next batch of 100 Pokemon that spice things up. And the new region just kind of makes it more fun, because that's where the exploration is. That's where the new features are going to happen, the new gameplay elements, all that fun stuff. Turn-based battles. You can also see that this guy puts in bold what he thinks is significant about the questionnaire. Being able to build a team around my favorite mons. See, I don't really know what that means when it's coming to like a fresh adventure. When it comes to a fresh adventure, I don't focus on the strongest Pokemon. I don't focus on my favorite Pokemon. I just like go, oh, this guy's cool. He's on my team. I'm using him now. And if it is like an older generation Pokemon, it's something I'll pick up. So when I think about Heart Gold, Soul Silver, you know, it's a remake. So I already played Pokemon Gold and Silver version. Those were my favorite Pokemon games until Heart Gold, Soul Silver became my favorite Pokemon games. So I was like, all right, I know I'm going for the Mareep. Ampharos is my boss. So, like, in that way, kind of favorites, but I don't think I'm going to be, like, looking for my favorite Pokemon in the Galar region. If one pops up and it fits on my team, that's going to be pretty cool, but I'm mostly going to be interested in the new Pokemon and coming up with, like, crazy ways of just kind of rolling through the Galar region. We're going to see how that goes. One of the answers in one of these is related to being able to find old Pokemon I know and love, or something, but no mention of transferring. So, this is something that also doesn't, like, exclusively relate to the National Dex, and I guess it's just maybe kind of thrown in there as generic Pokemon stuff, because it's always about finding Pokemon and having your favorites and stuff like that. But this kind of goes back to even like Generation 5. You know, do people like what they did in Generation 5 towards all new, even playing field, or just having a mix of old Pokemon? Moving on to Sword and Shield. Survey asked what kind of Pokemon I preferred in the new titles. New ones, old ones, no regional forms. And, you know, which ones I prefer to find in new titles? Of course, it's going to be the new Pokemon, but again, I think Generation 5 takes it way too far by removing all of the old Pokemon. So the survey had you read a blurb about Pokemon Sword and Shield, watch one of the trailers. Interestingly enough, the trailer was the Pokemon Direct one, minus the legendaries and the champion at the end. It cut right after Milo. The blurb didn't really mention anything new, wild area, Dynamax, contrast between modern cities, natural wilderness, etc. Few questions specific to the wild area, one of those features being something like being able to travel to places you visited in your adventure. Well, I don't think that's significant. Like I said, I think the guy's like trying to imply something or get onto something when it comes to these bold text, but that's Corviknight. You know, just go to the Pokemon website. Corviknight possesses superb flying skills and high intelligence. Because of this, many of them work for the company called Galar Taxi, helping transfer people from town to town. So I think that's just about the transportation methods inside the games, or maybe lack thereof. Like, do you have to go to a town? Do you have to like backtrack to a town to be able to fly to the next town in Pokemon Sword and Shield, or is quick travel going to be accessible the entire time? Is that what this is getting at? And maybe that's also like a gameplay change they're going to make like right now. It's like, oh, if people really don't like that, we're just going to make it to where you can travel from wherever. Another one was finding very strong Pokemon. They'll have to come back later to in order to catch them. I thought this referred to Dynamax raids, but there was another point specifically for those. However, this has already been explained as well. This is, in the wild area, there's a chance you'll run into powerful wild Pokemon. These Pokemon are constantly on their guard. You won't be able to throw a Pokeball at them while first starting your adventure. Now, initially I was against this, but I think it's actually okay, because you can still defeat them for experience, and it means you don't get to break the game. You don't get to find a level 50 Vespiquen, cheese it on a Quick Ball, and then use that to steamroll the game, but if you have level 10 Pokemon in your party, you can run into that level 50 Vespiquen and get backhanded. So I really like that kind of freedom, open worldness that's happening inside Pokemon Sword and Shield, but I think this is what they mean, like, I don't even think, this is what they mean when it comes to the finding very strong Pokemon they'll have to come back to. That's an interesting thing to put on the survey to kind of get people into if they don't fully understand what's going on. So that's the thing. Rest was usual. Weather conditions, Pokemon spawning in the overworld depending on the weather. That's all neat stuff. Made it clear that you can control the camera in the wild area, but it's automatic in all the other places. I think the Direct made that clear, or some information that we got during E3. So I don't think that's new information, anything like that. They asked what we thought about that, if we preferred a camera to be fully automatic or 100% user controlled. I like the mix, because I feel like Pokemon doesn't have to be a fully dynamic camera the entire way, and if anything, that would just kind of be bad. I'd rather Game Freak only focus on what we know we're going to be looking at, instead of like having to hide things and make it to where we get like disoriented rolling around too much. So I think as long as you can still make it feel open and explorative with the fixed camera, there's no problem. But then having like a specific area like the wild area is perfect. That's the best way of doing it. There were questions for the latest battle mechanics, Dynamax, but also Mega Evolution Z moves. One question had you choose which ones you like the most. I feel like I might actually like Dynamax more than Mega Evolution or Z-Move. Z-Move is definitely my least favorite, and Mega Evolution was really cool, and I did massively enjoy it because I pick up the Mega Sableye and I go in 6-0 teams all day long, but it did have its balance issues, and it did kind of fail in a way because Mega Evolution was supposed to make older Pokemon kind of revived in this power creeped new age of like modern Pokemon and stuff, but it kind of fails when you only have like 10 viable megas out of the 40, 50 or so, you know. Another one asked for the opinions about Dynamax. I think Dynamax gets a bad rep, and it's going to be one of like, I don't know, beloved is the right answer, but it's going to be very appreciated for it bringing like good competitive balance to the games, I feel. By the end, they asked if you were planning on getting the games at all, and when, by launch, later, etc. Also asked about your favorite Sword and Shield starter, and which version of the games you were planning on getting. That's all I can remember. No mention of legendaries, anything like that. For the look of it, it felt like the survey was designed before E3, and maybe even before the Direct. Now, I don't think it was designed... Well, I mean, technically designed before the Direct launched, but they already had all that information. So yeah, this was like before E3, just based off the Pokemon Direct and not really trying to react too hard to the Bring Back National Dex stuff. I found this. So I mean, like, this is the only picture of the actual survey itself, which kind of upsets me. And I like this response, having read the description, what do you like most about Pokemon Sword and Shield? So this is how it should always be done. This is how the critique with Bring Back National Dex should always be handled by people that are upset about Game Freak's decisions inside the games. You have to provide something that you like about the games before saying anything negative about that. That way you can actually be fair in your criticism. Top quality, and that's another thing, like top quality. Well, when you just get to the people that are built out of pure hatred and just toxicity by being brats, they're just like, oh, the tree looks bad, therefore this is the worst graphicked Pokemon game ever, looks like a Nintendo 64 game, worse than 3DS, and then, it's when no one else is saying that. Reasonable people, top quality, the I'm most excited for is having it on a console, 20 odd years, I've been waiting, but then he says, although non-description, lack of full Pokedex available in the games has put me off immensely. And I think that is another thing like, oh, it's a survey. Nintendo's going to read this. So then people over-dramatize their language that they use in it. And then when we get to the Pokemon Japanese questionnaire, they actually include the legendaries. And they have a bit more to talk about. So, how much you know about the new items in Pokemon series? Or new items. I guess that's just like translation stuff, I knew the title of the work. I knew products that'd be released on Nintendo Switch. I only know new product was coming out. Did not know anything about the new work. So your information about Pokemon Sword and Shield. Which Pokemon you want to be with you? I'm Scorebunny Squad. That's me. Please tell us Pokemon you like in the Pokemon featured Pokemon Sword and Shield official site. I like both of them. I like Zacian and Zamazenta. I think that's both of their names. Pretty much like Grookey. I don't like this thing. The turtle. And everything else is alright. Like, that's not, like, the best design, but I like Eldegoss a lot more. So, I mean, like, winners, Wooloo's hype. Corviknight's the best. Scorebunny's awesome. Not a huge fan of Grookey. Sobble's whatever. And, yeah, everything else is good. Like, the designs are solid so far, so I like that. Pokemon Sword and Shield. I'm going to be getting Pokemon Sword. I want both. What source of information do you use to collect information? The website. Yeah, Pokemon website, not so much the Nintendo one, definitely the Twitter. Pokemon Information Bureau, that's actually like a Japanese-run Twitter that I've had on the channel quite a bit. Twitter, and then just like other summary sites, gaming websites, whatnot. Since I am the YouTuber that people will be responding with in the questionnaire, I just go to the direct sources and then try to figure things out about that. Please tell us what kind of information you would like to know about Pokemon Sword and Shield from now on. Ooh! That would be pretty awesome. I actually haven't thought about that. That needs to become its own video. Good job, Japan. Please tell me what is true about your intention to purchase Pokemon Sword and Shield. Plan to buy, worried about buying, there's no plan to buy. Definitely planning on buying. Please tell me what applies to the reservation. Probably, am I going to reserve? Yeah, I think I'm going to reserve when the pre-download becomes available. Then buy it on the Japanese eShop like I did for Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. Which Pokemon games have you played? Like, all these except for Platinum, Emerald, Fire Red, Leaf Green. Yeah, that's it. And then what applies to Nintendo Switch? I own it. So there we go. So yeah, very basic on this one. Definitely not as in-depth when it comes to that, but also still having slightly more information compared to the Nintendo survey. Again, this doesn't seem like they're trying to fix the games and save from all the outrage or make sure that it is the vocal minority or isn't the vocal minority or something like that. I think it's just that they're doing the standard thing to get data about the games to figure out how people are perceiving Pokemon to see what to do for the future and make sure that everyone gets proper information about the games. So, hope you guys enjoy the video. Hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.